Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
An organic process that takes place in the body. Respiratory activity. The state of being active. His sphere of activity. The trait of being active, moving or acting rapidly and energetically. The level of activity declines with age. A process existing in or produced by nature, rather than by the intent of human beings. Volcanic activity. Any specific behavior. They avoided all recreational activity. Chemistry, the capacity of a substance to take part in a chemical reaction. Catalytic activity. An organic process that takes place in the body. An organic process that takes place in the body. An organic process that takes place in the body. A military engagement. He saw action in Korea. A judicial proceeding brought by one party against another. One party prosecutes another for a wrong done or for protection of a right or for prevention of a wrong. The operating part that transmits power to a mechanism. The piano had a very stiff action. Institute legal proceedings against. File a suit against. She actioned the company for discrimination. Put in effect. He actioned the operation. The state of being active. He is out of action. A process existing in or produced by nature, rather than by the intent of human beings. The action of natural forces. An act by a government body or supranational organization. Recent federal action undermined the segregationist position. Something done, usually as opposed to something said. There were stories of murders and other unnatural actions. The most important or interesting work or activity in a specific area or field. The action is no longer in technology stocks but in municipal bonds. The series of events that form a plot. His novels always have a lot of action. The trait of being active and energetic and forceful. A man of action. The state of being active. The trait of being active, moving or acting rapidly and energetically. A process existing in or produced by nature, rather than by the intent of human beings. A process existing in or produced by nature, rather than by the intent of human beings. A process occurring in living organisms. A process occurring in living organisms. Indicate through a symbol, formula, etc. The territory occupied by a nation. A politically organized body of people under a single government. The state has elected a new president. Chemistry. The three traditional states of matter are solids, fixed shape and volume, and liquids, fixed volume and shaped by the container, and gases, filling the container. The solid state of water is called ice. The territory occupied by one of the constituent administrative districts of a nation. His state is in the deep south. Put before. The federal department in the United States that sets and maintains foreign policies. Express in words. State your opinion. A state of depression or agitation. He was in such a state you just couldn't reason with him. The group of people comprising the government of a sovereign state. The state has lowered its income tax. The way something is with respect to its main attributes. The current state of knowledge. A distinguishing feature of your personal nature. A natural prolongation or projection from a part of an organism, either animal or plant. A bony process. A writ issued by authority of law. Usually compels the defendant's attendance in a civil suit. Failure to appear results in a default judgment against the defendant. Shape, form, or improve a material. Process iron. Deliver a warrant or summons to someone. He was processed by the sheriff. A sustained phenomenon or one marked by gradual changes through a series of states. Events now in process. Institute legal proceedings against. File a suit against. He was warned that the district attorney would process him. March in a procession. They processed into the dining room. A particular course of action intended to achieve a result. It was a process of trial and error. Psychology. The performance of some composite cognitive activity. An operation that affects mental contents. The process of thinking. A mental process that you are not directly aware of. The process of denial. Subject to a process or treatment, with the aim of readying for some purpose, improving, or remedying a condition. Process cheese. Deal with in a routine way. Process alone. Perform mathematical and logical operations on data, according to programmed instructions in order to obtain the required information. The results of the elections were still being processed when he gave his acceptance speech. A sustained phenomenon or one marked by gradual changes through a series of states. Something that people do or cause to happen. Something that people do or cause to happen. Something that people do or cause to happen. A legal document signed and sealed and delivered to effect a transfer of property and to show the legal right to possess it. He signed the deed. Pretend to have certain qualities or state of mind. He acted the idiot. Behave unnaturally or affectedly. She's just acting. Something that people do or cause to happen. A legal document codifying the result of deliberations of a committee or society or legislative body. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. Think before you act. A short performance that is part of a longer program. He did his act 3 times every evening. Perform on a stage or theater. She acts in this play. Have an effect or outcome, often the one desired or expected. How does your idea work in practice? Behave in a certain manner. Show a certain behavior, conduct or comport oneself. You should act like an adult. Play a role or part. She wants to act Lady Macbeth, but she is too young for the role. A manifestation of insincerity. He put on quite an act for her benefit. A subdivision of a play or opera or ballet. Be engaged in an activity, often for no particular purpose other than pleasure. Be suitable for theatrical performance. This scene acts well. Discharge one's duties. She acts as the chair. The amount that can be contained. The gas tank has a capacity of 12 gallons. An electrical phenomenon whereby an electric charge is stored. The susceptibility of something to a particular treatment. The power to learn or retain knowledge. In law, the ability to understand the facts and significance of your behavior. A specified function. He was employed in the capacity of director. Capability to perform or produce. Among his gifts is his capacity for true altruism. Computer science, the amount of information, in bytes, that can be stored on a disk drive. The capacity of a hard disk drive is usually expressed in megabytes. The maximum production possible. The plant is working at 80% capacity. Tolerance for alcohol. He had drunk beyond his capacity. The quality of being capable, physically or intellectually or legally. He worked to the limits of his capability. An aptitude that may be developed. The susceptibility of something to a particular treatment. The capability of a metal to be fused. The process of the sweat glands of the skin secreting a salty fluid. Activities associated with sexual intercourse. Shedding tears. Wetting with water. The lawn needs a great deal of watering. Activities associated with sexual intercourse. The act of spitting, forcefully expelling saliva. The process of coughing up and spitting out. Any of several bodily processes by which substances go out of the body. The bodily process of inhalation and exhalation. The process of taking in oxygen from inhaled air and releasing carbon dioxide by exhalation. Remove, cargo, people, etc., from and leave. Electrical conduction through a gas in an applied electric field. Free from obligations or duties. Go off or discharge. Eliminate, a substance. The termination of someone's employment, leaving them free to depart. Pronounce not guilty of criminal charges. Cause to go off. Release from military service. A substance that is emitted or released. Any of several bodily processes by which substances go out of the body. The discharge of pus. The act of discharging a gun. The act of venting. The pouring forth of a fluid. Become empty or void of its content. A formal written statement of relinquishment. Complete or carry out. Discharge one's duties. Pour forth or release. Discharge liquids. Remove the charge from. The sudden giving off of energy. Quiet and inactive restfulness. Lying with head on paws as if sleeping. The state of being asleep. The suspension of consciousness and decrease in metabolic rate. A mechanical system in a building that provides fresh air. She was continually adjusting the ventilation. The bodily process of inhalation and exhalation. The process of taking in oxygen from inhaled air and releasing carbon dioxide by exhalation. The act of supplying fresh air and getting rid of foul air. Free and open discussion of, or debate on, some question of public interest. Medicine. the formation of morbific matter in an abscess or a vesicle and the discharge of pus. A fluid product of inflammation.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.